What exactly is the greasy-haired, creepy governor of California, Gavin Newsom's goal with his whole redistricting effort? If you're watching this video, I think it's safe to assume that you're pretty aware of what went on in Texas, where the Texas state legislature tried to redistrict Texas, and the angry Democrats, in order to protest gerrymandering, fled the state and went to Illinois, ironically one of the most gerrymandered states in the union. Anyway, the whole Texas thing ended up getting through, and therefore Gavin Newsom said, I need to do something about this. So, what is he doing, and more importantly, why is he doing it? Interestingly enough, California doesn't redistrict like other states do. In 2010, a majority of 61% of Californians voted to create California's own independent districting commission. The commission is made up of 14 people, 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats, and 4 registered independents. And while in theory that does sound more fair than the way that some other states do it, it is far from perfect. You see, registered Republicans in California are outnumbered by registered Democrats in California 2-to-1. So you would think that ratio might hold into their representation in Congress. No, no, no. In Congress, Democrats outnumber Republicans by a ratio of 5-to-1. In other words, while the independent commission is probably better, especially if you don't like gerrymandering, it still has a really heavy slant leaning towards the supermajority Democrat legislature and California libs as a whole. So what is this referendum that's coming up in November for Californians to vote on actually going to do? What is Gavin actually pushing? Get ready for some irony. Gavin is going around the state saying that this referendum will give the power back to the people because this referendum strips the power from the people. See, the independent commission is made up of everyday Californians, and Prop 50, which again is on the ballot in November, would strip that commission of their power and give all of the redistricting power back to the legislation that is controlled by supermajorities in both houses by Democrats. What's even more interesting about this is the polling around using the independent commission hasn't really changed since it was instituted in 2010. Again, it passed with a 61% majority, and according to a recent Politico poll, still 64% of Californians think, yeah, this whole independent commission thing is a good idea. That includes a whopping 72% of independents in California don't want to give the districting capability back to the legislature. I hit the microphone there, sorry, there's probably a little boom. Which leads to the point that this is actually a risk for Governor Newsom, and you can't help but wonder, why is he taking this political risk? Well, because if you can fog a mirror and have 2 brain cells to rub together, you're aware that Gavin Newsom really wants to be the president. So he put up this referendum in order to be the anti-Donald Trump or conservatives or whatever, and get his name mentioned more in the national media, which is part of the reason why we're talking about it here. The gamble, however, though, is the problem of the polling. No matter how you slice it, this is going to be an uphill battle for Gavin Newsom to get this across the finish line. And if he doesn't, the national media will still be talking about him, but it will be embarrassing and ridiculing, which, gosh dang, you hate to see Gavin Newsom's ego mocked. Just kidding, it's one of my favorite things. The bottom line is this: Gavin Newsom is risking his reputation on the fact that Californians will reverse course and vote for a thing that polling says they don't want because Gavin tricked them by saying, well, we're going to give power back to the people by taking power away from the people. It's a whole kind of convoluted messaging mess, but that's kind of what Gavin wants. So what do we think here in the comments section? Do you think Gavin Newsom will be able to trick Californians into giving away more power to him and his supermajority Democrats in the state legislature? Or will Californians, who often vote very stupidly but are not stupid, tell him to pound sand? I guess we'll all find out together in a couple months.